Hello, my name is Mr. Chipman. This is Unit 3 Populations of AP Environmental Science. I teach AP Biology at Murray High in Murray, Kentucky, but now we're looking at AP Environmental Science 3.1 Generalist and Specialist Species. This is something we've talked about before, but that's okay. We talk about things over and over again a lot. It's fun. So let's talk about the idea of a generalist species. You could probably just look at these two words and have a pretty good idea of what we're talking about, right? You could definitely look at this picture. I mean, look at those whiskers. It's like wires coming out of its face. There's probably cuter pictures of possums out there, but we weren't going for that. So what do we mean about general species? This is something that has a very broad niche as far as role in the ecosystem, right? Very, very flexible role. Possum's a great example. Raccoon, another one that's a great example from where I live. Anyway, can survive a wide range of habitats, tolerate lots of different environmental conditions, use a variety of resources, have flexible diets, have flexible behaviors, right? They can live around people, for instance, which requires a great deal of flexibility for a species. Resilient to environmental changes. Mice are a great example of this, like deer mice, field mice. Cockroaches, another great example, generalist species, as opposed to a specialist species, like our dear friend, the koala. That's a strange looking thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty strange. I mean, this is no less strange. But anyway, special species, everything's the opposite. So very narrow ecological niche, occupies this one little space that it does. It's really good at what it does, though. Depends on a limited range of habitats and resources, very vulnerable to change in the environment, can be highly competitive in stable environments where their specialization is an advantage, meaning that they're really good at what they do where they do it. Outside of that, they're not good at much anything else, right? Koala, great example. It only eats one thing, eucalyptus leaves, and it has to eat a ton of them. We talked about giant panda before, exclusively eating bamboo. I have another example here, the Everglades snail kite. It focuses on apple snails. That's all it eats, right? Very, very specialized species. So when you're comparing the two, I think this concept of environmental change, I mean, this picture's kind of sad. Look at them, they're like, it'll be okay. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. Kind of the generalist is like a jack of all trades, right? Survive lots of different conditions, may be outcompeted by a specialist, right? I think that's important to say. In a very stable system, a specialist is going to be really good at something, whereas a generalist is going to be really good at nothing, right? Versus a specialist is kind of a master of one thing. And so if you take that one thing away, it is extremely vulnerable, right? Koala, if you take its eucalyptus trees away, it can't live. That's all it eats, right? And so it's very, very vulnerable. Any kind of changing environmental conditions are going to be very, very problematic for things like the koala bear, as opposed to no change, very unproblematic for the generalist. An example of a generalist, man, I used to live down in Mississippi. This is a very common sight. This plant is called kudzu. It coats everything. It's like a vine. It grows 1,000 feet a minute, apparently. No, I don't know. It grows fast, and it grows everywhere. And it's very, very resilient to any sort of advancement or any sort of way that we might attempt to control it, or anything might attempt to control it, right? You can see it covers the trees and everything in the way. It's a generalist. It's able to live in very diverse conditions and does quite well. It's actually an invasive species too, something we've talked about, as opposed to a coral, which is a highly specialized species, really good at one thing, right? It's really good at sort of doing its niche. But if you take it outside of its niche, if anything about that changes, then it completely wrecks it, right? It's not good at it's not able to really deal with that. Practice problems. Pause the video if you need to. A wildlife ecologist is studying two bird populations. Species A feeds on a wide variety of insects and seeds found in the forest, grassland, and suburban areas. Species B eats larvae of one beetle that lives under tree bark. Very specific, species B. Which prediction is most consistent with the ecological principles of climate change alters forest composition over the next 50 years? This shouldn't be hard. Lots of words, right? But we know that species A is going to be better suited for that change than species B. Species B is not going to expand, right? The evolutionary change takes longer than that. Species will persist because broad diet, habitat tolerance. A or B is the correct answer. We like B. I'm not even reading C and D. I'm sure they say good things, but if B is correct, everything else is wrong. I hope this was helpful. 3.2 is coming soon.